Hi friends, it's Jennifer with Jennifer at Home. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to show you how to make my super easy made from scratch low carb cheesecake. Let's get started. Okay, the first thing we need to do is preheat the oven to 350. The next thing I'll do is put 3 8-ounce blocks of cream cheese. You can use any brand. I'll put those in the mixer bowl and let those sit out to warm up at room temperature. Next, I'll crack 4 eggs and put those into a bowl. Next, I took a piece of parchment paper. I laid it underneath my pan, traced around it with an ink pen, and just cut it slightly smaller than the springform pan that I'm going to be using. Then I just took a cube of butter. And to butter the pan, you'll just need to draw the butter all around the pan and make sure you get it up the sides as well. And it helps if you set the butter out for a few minutes so that it can get a little bit softer. If it's too hard, it doesn't come off and stick to the pan very easily. So this way, with the butter just a little bit warmer, then I will take the wax paper after I've buttered all around the pan and the sides and the bottom, and I'll lay the wax paper in and press that down into place. Then after I press it into place, I'll take the butter again and rub the butter on top of the wax paper. Not only does this hold it down into place, but it also creates a protective barrier for the bottom of the cheesecake so that it comes out easy after you've baked it. Okay, now the first thing we need to do to make the crust is I have 1.5 cups of almond flour. This is just a ground almond flour. And this crust will replace what a traditional graham cracker crust would be. So we have the almond flour and then chocolate protein powder. You could also use vanilla if you prefer vanilla or another flavor. And then we just have 4 tablespoons of melted butter. So it's only 3 ingredients to make the crust. So we'll mix this up. You want to mix it really well. Okay, and then once you have everything combined, this is the almond flour, the protein powder, and the melted butter. Once that's all combined, you just go ahead and scoop that right into your springform pan. And the best way that I found to put this in is just with some clean, dry hands. Just spread it out and press it right into the pan. Press it down nice and firmly so you don't have it crumbling later on when you try to cut the cheesecake. Try to get it as even as you can. And then once you get that pressed in, all we need to do is put this in the oven and pre-bake this for 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, now it's time to mix up the filling to put in the cheesecake. So I have the 3 8-ounce blocks of cream cheese, and I'm going to just turn that on and mix it low until it's combined. Okay, now that the cream cheese is soft and fluffy, we're going to go ahead and add a teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm going to add 1 cup of sweetener. This is a stevia sweetener that I use, and it's 1 cup. So we'll go ahead and put that in. We'll let this mix up. We don't want to overbeat it, so we just want to mix it until it's combined. And during the course of the mixing, we'll want to stop once or twice and scrape down the sides just to make sure we get everything incorporated. This way we don't have lumps or any of the cream cheese that isn't properly mixed in. Okay, and now that that's mixed, we're going to add our eggs, and we want to add the eggs with the mixer on low, 1 egg at a time. Adding the eggs 1 at a time very slowly also helps the cheesecake not crack as much on the top. Hopefully you won't have any cracks when your cheesecake is done. You can change the flavor of this cheesecake very easily. You can add some lime juice and lime zest, and you can add a little lemon extract, or you can use lemons, and you can use lemon zest with a little bit of lemon extract as well. I've made this cheesecake many different ways. I've even used a caramel extract and a dark chocolate extract to make different flavors. You can add berries to this cheesecake and swirl them in, or of course just garnish with fruit or berries on top. And here's the crust after it is baked about 10 minutes in the oven. So now we'll go back and we'll turn the temperature down. After the crust has come out of the oven, we'll turn the temperature down to 325. Okay, and now that everything is mixed up and smooth and creamy, we want to go through and scrape the side of the bowl. Make sure you get everything off the bottom and the sides of the bowl so you make sure it's all combined. And then I'm going to add about a half a cup, or actually this is probably more of a quarter of a cup of mini dark chocolate chips. So I want to put those in and just fold those in by hand. You don't want to put... Okay, now that the chocolate chips are mixed in, we're just going to take the cheesecake batter and we're going to pour it right into the springform pan, right on top of our graham cracker style crust. Okay, now we'll put the cheesecake in the oven at 325 for 55 minutes. Okay, after 55 minutes, the cheesecake is done. I inserted a knife in the top of the cheesecake and pulled it out to make sure it came out clean. That's an indicator to tell me that it is definitely done. So now I'll take it out of the oven and I'll go around the edge of the springform pan in between the cheesecake and loosen the cheesecake from the edge and make sure it's not going to stick. But before I remove it from the ring, I'm going to let it sit for a couple of hours. Okay, so I'm just going to go around the edge of the cheesecake and make sure it's loose from the pan. Then I'll let it cool. And after it's cooled, I'll put it in the refrigerator and let it sit for at least 2 hours. Okay, friends, and here's how the cheesecake turned out. I wanted it to be. It turns out very nice and it tastes delicious. I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.